Hey home bakers, it's Jack here, bakerwithjack.co.uk, bringing you your weekly bread making tip every single Thursday. And recently I've been putting a little tiny touch of rye flour into my breads at home, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, it's Jack here, Bake with Jack. I want to talk to you about rye flour today because it is wicked and I've been using it a lot recently. But first, let's have a word from our sponsors. Oh, hey, it's me. Yeah, I'm the sponsor for this video. Hey! That was good, wasn't it? Was that good? Not really. You can come and bake bread with me in person if you want to. If you're in the south of England, I'm here in Surrey, and I travel to people's houses in Surrey, Kent, Sussex, Berkshire, Hampshire and the south of London, bringing the joy of homemade bread. I can come to you and host a course inside of your house, or you can come to me, because I host them in Woking in Surrey. I'll put the links underneath if you want to come and hang out with me for the day and bake some wicked breads together. That will be awesome. Let's get back to your bread making tip. So a little bit of rye flour goes a long way when you're making bread at home. Recently I've been making a lot of loaves of bread with strong white bread flour and a small percentage of wholemeal rye flour. Typically 20% or even 30% of rye flour. And I'm not talking about baker's percentages, what I talked about last week. This is all getting very confusing. I'm talking about the percentage of flour. For example, 500 grams of flour in total, made up of 400 grams of strong white bread flour and 100 grams of rye flour. That's 20% of the flour content is rye. And this is the one I've been using, it's Dove's wholemeal rye flour. I've only got a little bit left. I need to pop out and get some more. But any wholemeal stone ground rye flour works really, really well. And this one here, I've got it in a little bowl to show you. Can you see it? It's a little bit, it's very, very heavy flour. It's got lots of bits and bobs in there, and it's almost grey in its appearance, and it smells really yummy. It brings, like, I try hard to describe what flavors are like, but I find that really, really tricky. And if you have a whole 100% wholemeal rye flour loaf, you know what I'm talking about. It's quite heavy and it tastes a little bit like bran flakes. In fact, it tastes a lot like bran flakes, and I like bran flakes, so that's a good way to go for me. It's really hearty, it's full of goodness, and it feels like you're eating something good. But when you take a little bit of rye flour and put it into a regular loaf of bread recipe, it has the following effects. It's gonna make your dough super sticky, okay? I'm not talking sticky like a wet dough sticky, I'm talking about glue. Gluey, properly gluey. It's going to glue itself to your hands. It's going to glue itself to the table at the beginning of the kneading process, but keep working through that glue and it will come together really nicely. It brings a really nice wholemealy, something a little bit better than wholemeal. If you imagine a white bread with a little bit of wholemeal in, like my cob loaf recipe you can find on the blog, it's a little bit like that, except it's got some more beautiful brown flaky undertones to it that makes it really, really moreish and really delicious. And another thing it brings is a little bit of extra moisture. I feel like it holds the moisture a little bit better, making for a nice, softer crumb texture, which is really delicious. And the crust on the outside, it goes properly golden, and that's where you get maximum flavour in the crust, always, right? So that's what really celebrates the flavour of that rye. There you go, give it a try. Give a little rye a try in your next loaf of bread. If you are using the cob loaf recipe off my website, just swap that wholemeal out. I think there's 100 grams of wholemeal in there. Just swap that wholemeal out for rye and see how you get on. See how you like the change in texture and the change in flavour, because I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So much so that I've just started a rye sourdough starter to see how I get on with that. And that's it for today's tip. So hey, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. If you are new, please consider pressing that subscribe button and you won't miss out on my tips every single week. And if you're watching this on the website, hey, thanks so much for coming and hanging out on my website. There's loads of resources on there. I'm trying to make it a really big resource of recipes and videos and helpful stuff, as well as where you can book on to my lovely bread making courses and workshops. So once again, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next week for another bread making tip. Take care, have a nice week, and I'll see you soon.